Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning show. Good morning, Andy.
Good morning.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Oh yes, that is today, right?
It is
Happy Cinco
today.
de Mayo.
Yeah. Cinco de Mayo, the 5th of May. Survey shows that 40% of Americans thinks that Cinco de Mayo is the celebration of Mexican independence, and it's not. Cinco de Mayo is a Mexican holiday celebrating the 1862 Battle of Puebla, when 2,000 Mexican troops defeated 6,000 French soldiers, denying French Emperor Napoleon III's attempt to claim the territory to France. So it's not Mexican Independence Day. That
Really?
happens actually in September. But there's a lot of things Cinco de Mayo happening today.
Yeah, there are plenty of things going on today. For
Grand
sure.
River Brewery is having all day Cinco de Mayo. And the Grand River Brewery food truck is going to be at Manchester Market, where they're having a big celebration. And it's the opening of their outdoor farmers market at Manchester Market. And they're going to have all kinds of Mexican food all throughout the day. So also the Eagles in Michigan Center having Cinco de Mayo. Who else? Number of other places.
Yeah, Crazy Cowboy. Did you say Crazy Cowboy?
All the places.
Yeah, it should be good.
Yeah, so have fun.
A lot of fun.
43 degrees right now. Should be a nice day, but clouds will increase. High of 64. Yesterday was nice.
Yeah, it was nice. We had soccer practice for the first time outside, and I was telling Brandon, these first and second graders basically put me in a body bag. I mean, they would not listen to a word I said yesterday. You know, it was fun though. But we had a great time. Yeah, so 15 kids. I have 15 kids on the team now, and that's a lot.
I watched them play.
Yeah.
And I noticed this is how well Andy's coaching soccer. In the last couple of minutes of Saturday's soccer game, a parent approached Coach Andy and said, "My kid's he hasn't played."
No, that was the other team.
Oh, the other team.
Yeah, no, that wasn't me. That was the other team, and it is hard because you try and get everyone equal playing time, and a lot of coaches are just meeting kids for the first day, so it's hard to do all that.
All right.
But
And some kids hide; they don't want to play.
that is true. That is true. But it is the largest turnout ever for spring soccer for the Jackson Rec Department, and it's unbelievable. Drive by on a Saturday morning. It's very cool.
Yeah,
Very cool to see.
Someone, a coffee truck or a donut truck, I don't know why they don't capitalize.
Well,
on
I think arrangements have to be made.
Well, I don't know.
But you're right. I think, the amount of money you would make
Yeah.
selling coffee, hot chocolate, and donuts, maybe we need to talk to Kelly Hoover. I think we brought that up before. There's some type of reason.
I've suggested that the museum open up the granary and sell coffee and donuts on soccer days, but
It's a good idea. Very good idea.
happy Mother's Day. Mother's Day weekend. It's going to be nice weather for Mother's Day. Are you all ready for Mother's Day?
Well, I figure Mom, are you listening? We have reservation at 11 o'clock, right?
Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm.
We do have youth sports on Sunday as well, so we are going to have to duck out of that a little early for one of my daughter's basketball games.
Eat fast. The weekend's busy. We've got the Derby. Ware's having a Derby event at Commonwealth Commerce Center. Still time to get tickets for that. That should be a lot of fun. Oak Ridge Boys Saturday night at Jackson College. Last Music on Tap series Saturday night. And we've got Museum Day on Saturday. Visit your local museums, and all the museums in Jackson County will be open for free from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So stop by and make a day of it. Visit 2 or 3 of them. And on Saturday it is the annual Spring Arbor Pancake Breakfast, Pancake Day in Spring Arbor, a fundraiser for the Spring Arbor Fire Department, and that's always a blast. That happens at the fire station in Spring Arbor Saturday. So come hungry. We've got something new in the Detroit River. Spotted this week, an otter, a river
Really?
otter. Yes. Eric St. Marie, he's a doctoral student at the University of Windsor, and actually a marine biology student. He was taking this walk when he noticed something furry bobbing out of the river near the Ambassador Bridge. he took this video of this lanky creature diving and swimming.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is the first time a river otter has been spotted in the Detroit River in 100 years.
So what do we do?
Well, they thought the thing was extinct.
Really?
So
So did they? What do they do? Do they remove the otter?
no, they were going to keep them there.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they thought
And hopefully,
because of pollution and urbanization and overzealous trappers that they were extinct, locally extinct, but they're not.
wow. So that could become a tourist attraction.
People will go to the Detroit River to look for the otter.
Otter spotting.
And where there's one otter, there's one, there's more. Right.
That's deer.
Well, I think it's with anything.
That could be.
Mice, rats, river otters.
Cockroaches for sure. Cockroaches for sure. I do know that.
Yeah, that too. We've got, this is not good news. According to NBC News, here we are 27 months into the pandemic. The United States has just hit 1 million deaths.
That's crazy, isn't it?
It's unbelievable.
Absolutely nutty.
In Michigan, in the last week, we've had 62 deaths. In Jackson County, for the first time ever, we've gone a whole week without anyone dying from COVID.
Oh, well, that's good.
That is good.
Well, that is good news, you know, and hopefully it continues to wane. And we have Dr. Cat coming on. I have a few viewer questions for him as far as COVID and how should we consider COVID going forward if we've had it already, if our children have had it, what should we be worried about at this point? So we'll have some questions for Dr. Cack later today. I did see on the news that Pope Francis wants to meet with Vladimir Putin. How do you think that would go? Now, they met in 2019, and the Kremlin has not confirmed that they will meet, but don't you think that would be a good idea?
I think so too, yeah. I think maybe the Pope can talk some sense into the guy's thick skull.
I would love to see them meet and then the conversation be recorded. You think about that, the Pope meeting with Putin, murderer, killer, war criminal,
Right.
meeting with the Pope. I wonder if the Pope could talk him down, but we'll see.
And the Pope could ask, well, I saw pictures of you at Orthodox Easter where you claim to be a Christian. We're taking away that title Christian from you.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. So hopefully they meet. That would be, I guess that would be interesting to me. And I guess if anyone could maybe get through to him, I think it might be the Pope, right?
Try everything. Try anything.
Try anything for sure.
The Pope's probably busy this time of year. It's First Communion season.
Oh, do you think the Pope goes around and does the First Communions?
No, I think the bishops pop in here and there. Maybe the Pope does in Rome, but here in the United States, a very zealous first communicant got carried away with the wine portion of First Communion. Brinley Heidenbrink's First Communion at the Risen Savior Catholic Church. Here's the blood of Christ. Brittany?
Oh my gosh.
Brittany?
She crushed it.
Brittany?
Brittany says seen her mom do that while she's cooking dinner every night. Yeah.
Emptied the chalice.
She did well. She didn't spill anything on that beautiful First Communion gown. So I've always I've never done that. I didn't do it at First Communion. I think I just touched it to my lips. That's crazy. And now I've heard that with these First Communions that they have individual chalices for all of the kids due to COVID. So yeah, so I think she probably did everyone a favor by drinking all of that so that the other kids wouldn't have to come up and get the germs.
Afterwards, they went to Olive Garden.
Of course they did.
Now the priest, somebody said to the priest, "Well, good thing you guys use grape juice for the First Communion." He said, "No, no, it's not grape juice.
That's wine.
It's wine." Wow. In New Jersey, go to the supermarket starting today. They will not ask you paper or plastic.
What will they do?
They'll say, "Where's your bag?"
Mm.
New Jersey has outlawed paper and plastic bags at stores, supermarkets, grocery stores, convenience stores. You have to bring your own bag. There are no plastic or paper bags allowed in New Jersey.
What if you're what if you're a caterer and you need to go to the New Jersey Gordon's Food and you don't have your own bags? They just tell you you're out of luck?
Well, they give you the boxes at Gordon's.
I guess that's a bad example, but I can see some huge internet fight videos based off this at checkout lanes. So look for that shortly, because not everyone will bring their own bag to the store.
No.
Hopefully, they will make exceptions for people that are traveling, running in really
I don't
quick.
know.
I don't know.
It's
We'll see. I mean, when we
crazy.
travel out east, we're used to no plastic straws, right? So what do? We bring our
Bring
own
our own.
plastic straws.
Yeah. Starbucks has those nice green ones. They're my favorite.
They sure are.
Mhm.
Hey, gas prices. Can we do something about this? I think this is something that needs to be addressed first. I mean, it's something that we all see, we all deal with every day. And when when you're getting that full tank and you see that price, it just changes things, right?
Eye-popping.
Very much so. It changes things. So, could we do something about that, please?
Well, the Fed raised interest rates yesterday, and they claim that within the next 6 months, this will cure inflation, and prices will start to level and then drop.
Well, they better be right. I'll tell you
That's-
that, because it's the highest rate that increased in over 20 years. So it better work for sure. But yeah, we can't continue to pay those kind of prices at the gas pump. It's just not possible.
Hang on, it should get better.
We'll see. Rod, people find this hard to believe. The cheapest I ever filled gas up for was 79 cents a gallon, and it was in the Buddies in Vandercook Lake when I was 16 years old.
Yeah, I got you beat. I've been at 32 cents a gallon.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Was that expensive at the time? No.
Oh.
No. Hey, we have got some scores for Extreme Dodge. Let's get to our scoreboard. Yesterday was a decent night, so plenty of action. That's a great shot there. In baseball, Grass Lake beat Columbia Central in both games. The first one was tight, 1-0. Second one, 13-3. Clinton 10, Napoleon 5. Now, they just played one game. They were supposed to play a doubleheader, but the field conditions were not great in Clinton, so they just played a JV game and a varsity game. Pinckney beat Jackson 8-4. And Northwest and Western split 3-2. Northwest in the first game, Western won the second game 4-2. That's a great matchup. And in softball, Northwest took both games, blanking Western 2-0 and 8-0, and Lincoln got Jackson 15-0. In girls soccer, Columbia Central 3, Ida 1. Grass Lake continues their hot streak, 7-1 over Quincy. Lumen Christi 4, Harper Creek 3, Leslie 9, Michigan Center 1, and Manchester beat Springport 8-2. And Western fell to Marshall 4-0. Boys golf, Columbia Central, they finished 8th in their jamboree, and Napoleon, or excuse me, and what sport? Oh, I'm like, what sport is the Springport Invitational? Is that golf? Yes,
Golf.
it was. Well, it was golf. Napoleon took first in that, and Jackson with a team score of 189, and in the I-8, Lumen Christi had no problem winning that league meet. And we've got some games tonight. Baseball, Lumen Christi travels to Penfield. Western travels to Hudson. Softball, CC on the road. Concord at Athens, which is a beautiful, beautiful town, Athens. Martin at Lumen Christi. The Martians are in town. Did you know that? Martin Martians?
Martin Martians.
Yeah, they're in town. So that's on deck today.
Nice. Today's morning show is being brought to you by Printosaurus Plus. Proud to be named this year's Chamber of Commerce Small Business of the Year. Thanks to Joe, Mike, Pat, and the entire team at Printosaurus Plus for helping us bring you today's show. And today's show has a lot of great guests. Who's on?
We have Dr. Vivek Kak, and he will join us right after this break.
Come along with JTV and Experience Jackson and get to know or reintroduce yourself to some of the best Jackson County has to offer. Join Andy and Rachel as they tour the county interviewing and highlighting Jackson on a visit with Experience Jackson. Whether it's golf, museums, hotels, or events, we'll give you some great ideas on how to spend time in Jackson. Watch on JTV.tv, YouTube, and Experience Jackson social channels. On Thursday, May 12th, Congressman Tim Walberg will be hosting a virtual Service Academy fair for students and parents to learn more about the educational opportunities at U.S. military service academies. It will take place from 6 to 7 p.m. over Zoom. Representatives from these excellent institutions will share information and answer questions. Additionally, information will be provided on the Service Academy nomination process. To register, please visit walberg.house.gov or call Congressman Walberg's office at 517-780-9075 with any questions. Paid for with the official funds from the office of Tim Walberg.
Collins Brothers floor covering, because new carpet is like, very nice. But commercials suck. Don't change the channel, change your carpet. Collins Brothers downtown.
Excellent.
Established in 1940.
That's before the war, sucker.
Welcome to the Blessed Nest, the home to all your spring home decor. With everything from furniture to women's clothing, the Blessed Nest has what you need, including favorite brands like Bed Stew, Brighton Jewelry, and Kalamazoo Candles. We have everything for this Mother's Day season. Stop in and see our unique selection of women's shoes, bags, clothing, and large variety of candles and fragrances. At the Blessed Nest, you'll find something special for everyone.
Imagine a new kind of school, a school that personalizes learning around your uniqueness, personal learning style, talents, interests, strengths, weaknesses. A school that's prepared for the future of learning. A school that prides itself on being able to connect with every student, no matter the platform they choose. Level up at your pace, all while pursuing a free associate's degree and high school diploma. Start your future at Jackson Preparatory and Early College. Your place, your purpose, your future.
Welcome back. Today's show is brought to you by Vermeulen Home Furnishings. Now in their third generation of being family owned and operated, they pride themselves on providing high quality brand name furniture at affordable prices thanks to Vermeulen Furniture. And it's almost patio furniture season, so start thinking.
Mother's Day shopping. Oh, wouldn't Mom love a new patio?
She would.
Joining us now from the PIC Center and Henry Ford Jackson Hospital infectious disease specialist, Dr. Vivek Ek. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Well, we are seeing it again. Numbers are starting to uptick. What does that mean?
Well, as we open up, there's definitely going to be more spread of the virus. The good thing is most of the spread is among individuals who are reasonably healthy. So the younger ones, especially the ones who go to school, or parents whose kids go to school, play sports. And majority of the time, the disease is fairly mild. Mm-hmm. So that's somewhat good and encouraging. We aren't seeing too many inpatient admissions going up. So all of that is encouraging in the sense that the virus, I think, is going to be with us for some time, kind of like the flu. And as long as there is under-vaccination across the world, we're going to see new variants. And as long as there are flights and cruise ships and travel, we're going to see those variants come here. So we just have to learn to live with it in some way, shape or form.
I have a few viewer questions today. Now seems like a good time for the first one. Now that hospitalizations are down and the risk of severe illness from COVID seems under control, would you recommend that I still get my 5 and 7-year-olds vaccinated?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an individual decision in some ways, but the advantage of the vaccination is that it decreases mild disease to even milder, especially in people who have been vaccinated. So the younger ones, if you can get them vaccinated, definitely would be a good idea, even though the data isn't great in terms of preventing acquisition of the disease or transmission. There is some decrease in transmission. So if those kids are going to be visiting their great-grandparents or grandparents who may have not been vaccinated or have underlying chronic medical problems, it's a good idea.
Yeah, it's still the protection for others, which I think
Exactly.
we haven't thought about in a long time. And I think in Michigan, when summer hits, I mean, this will be the 3rd summer, right? Everyone just kind of forgets about it, which, the weather, I think, does help the disease, but yeah, it's still going on a little bit, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I think COVID has been an epidemic of different intensities among different populations. Kind of people who are reasonably healthy, younger, haven't had significant disease. While if you were in a nursing home or if you were elderly, especially if you were above 80, it's a completely different disease. I mean, as you discussed earlier, we've hit 1 million deaths, and that should be a sobering number. The trouble tends to be we see younger individuals who say, oh, I had COVID twice, I didn't get to any significant degree of illness, which is completely different from if your parents or grandparents were in a nursing home. I think there the disease basically ran rampant, and a lot of individuals lost significant years of their life. I mean, the older you are, the more sick you're going to get, and you're more apt to kind of die from the disease. So that is a completely different disease in that population versus if you're in your 20s and reasonably healthy.
Yeah, and we're all kind of reacting based on how our own personal situation has been in the last 3 years. If you've been around people that have struggled and been ill, you're more in tune with it. If you haven't, you don't take it as seriously, and I think that's just kind of the way we go.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that's the trouble with the living in tribes. Kind of, you're all in your tribe hasn't been affected with the virus, so you tend to blow it off a little bit.
Yeah, this week Jackson County Health Department reporting that since the pandemic began, now 40,000 Jackson County residents have been diagnosed with COVID, and that number we expect is low.
Yeah, I mean, I think lately, especially, a lot of individuals have been doing self-testing, so those don't often get reflected in the stats. So there's definitely more disease than we kind of have official numbers for. And the same thing with deaths. There's probably been more deaths either from COVID or from missing healthcare because of COVID and all the other stuff. There's been an uptick in patients, at least in the initial part of the epidemic, who missed healthcare because they were just worried about going to the hospital. I mean, we still have individuals who refuse to go to the hospitals because they're worried that they'll get COVID there, and kind of not only will they get COVID there, then nobody will be allowed to visit them. So they only show up at the ER until it's fairly late in the game.
We did have a 1-2 hour period 2 weeks ago that the hospital had no COVID, but it lasted just 2 hours.
Exactly. I mean, I think I get a list of everybody who's been tested positive, and I think 4 weeks ago there was a day when there were 3, and I was kind of hoping that that's it. And yesterday they were in the, I think 33, and today they're nearly 15 or 16. So I don't think it's going to go away that easily.
I'm going to shift gears a little bit. I have another viewer question that I gave you a little bit of a hint on, and this is good because you and I both have weaker stomachs. Is it possible to? I've heard it's you're more likely to get food poisoning in the summer months than you are in the colder months.
Yeah, I mean, I think backtracking. So bacteria like an optimum temperature. That's why 37, 38 degrees centigrade. So that's where they multiply the most.
Okay.
So in cold, in freezers, they don't multiply. Second, when you're out and about, you're going to have the dips. So the dips, the yogurt, that's the thing that you've got to avoid.
Yeah, especially at those family picnics where you don't know how long it's been sitting out, right?
Not only that, so that's one thing. A, it's been sitting out. Second, most kids go there, and I don't know about your kids, but when my kids were young, hand washing wasn't a very high priority for them.
No, if my kid uses, does any chip and dip, there's sauce all over the knuckles. I have friends like that too that are in their late 40s that do that, but I don't think I'm going to be having any dips this summer.
No, and I think George Costanza, was probably the worst violator of the double dipping.
He did that and ate out of the trash can, which
He did.
that's not a good idea either.
Typically not. I think wouldn't recommend it.
So all these other things we've had kind of, on the back burner, all the other public health issues. We're seeing, increases in sexually transmitted disease. It's going to be mosquito season again. We're going to have mosquito-borne illnesses. There's a lot of other things to worry about.
Yeah, I mean, I think we are surrounded by pathogens that like to feed on us. And as we start going up and about around, they'll start working their stuff with us. So mosquito-borne illnesses especially, this has been a reasonably wet spring, so we are going to see an uptick on all mosquito-borne illnesses. We'll probably see an uptick, I suspect, in West Nile this year, especially since the last couple of years we didn't have a lot of disease. Flu is definitely still in the community and it's going up. So all of these other infections, foodborne illnesses, are definitely going to go up. And sexually transmitted infections have been on an uptick for some years, and with people staying within their houses and now starting to go about, we'll probably see an uptick in that too. But the good thing is most of these illnesses can be diagnosed, and if they are infections, a lot of them can be treated. The key is getting them diagnosed and seeing someone quickly.
All this Clorox and Lysol and Purell that we've been using over these last 2 years, are we making viruses and dangerous bacteria more hardy?
Well, there is data, less so with pure alcohol, kind of, because that tends to kill off everything else, but with some of the antibacterial soaps that we were increasing the resistance to some of those pathogens, to those chemicals. But hand washing, I still think, is probably the most effective tool we have in terms of preventing infections, kind of. So I wouldn't stop hand washing.
No, I will not do that. I will not stop hand washing.
I won't stop doing that either.
Okay.
No.
We have a policy in our building too, with instructions in every bathroom, which I think everyone should.
Yeah. And I love the signs in the restaurants. Employees must wash hands after using the bathroom before returning to work. I think the sign should say, everyone should wash their hands after using the bathroom and returning to the restaurant.
Yeah, probably so.
Not just the employees.
Probably a good
I think
idea.
it gives us false. So, well,
I've looked
I
at
don't
that
work
sign
here.
and walked right out with
I don't work
washing
here.
my
I don't have to wash my hands. So,
Not true.
all right. Any big Mother's Day plans?
Not yet.
Same.
Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.
Dr. Vivek Kak, infectious disease specialist at the PIC Center. Stay tuned. Coming up next, Butch Irwin joins us from Comfort Keepers. Stay tuned.
Do you do landscaping?
Yes, we do. Our landscaping is creative and innovative. We'll make sure your yard is beautiful.
Do you do irrigation systems?
Yes, our irrigation systems are top of the line and will be designed to fit your watering needs.
What about lawn care?
We do that too. Our lawn care services will continue to keep your yard healthy and help it grow. Wilcox Lawn and Landscaping, serving South Central Michigan since 1986.
Mauer's Sunshine Car Wash is proud to be a professional and fast service in the Jackson area. You can relax and let our friendly staff clean your vehicle to a shine. Open Monday through Saturday, 7:30 to 6:30, Sunday 9 to 5. Or use one of our many self-serve bays, great for all vehicles, car, truck, or bikes. Try our other locations. Brooklyn Auto Wash in Brooklyn, Center Wash on Page Ave, keeping your vehicle clean for over 25 years. Mauer's Sunshine Car Wash on Ann Arbor Road.
Registration is open now for the 2022 Dahlem Outdoor Adventure Summer Day Camp. During June, July, and August, there are 9 one-week themed sessions for children ages 3 to 12 years old. For online registration and details, visit www.dahlemcenter.org or call the office at 517-782-3453 extension 0. Dahlem, Jackson's Nature Place, 7117 South Jackson Road in Jackson.
The secret is out. Jackson is a great place to live, work, and raise a family. We are people with community pride, school spirit, and deep roots. The secret is out. Jackson has great parks, home to some of the best golf in the country, and boasts more lakes than you can count. With unique, locally owned shops and restaurants, we have a little something for everyone. Hey Jackson, the secret is out. The Heather Herndon team with Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, serving the Jackson community since 2005.
The Jackson Chamber is thrilled to announce an economic luncheon with the new track president of Michigan International Speedway, Joe Fowler, on May 9th. Event takes place at Gene Davis & Sons from 11:30 to 1 p.m. and space is limited. Fowler will cover his past work experience, what he expects for the future of MIS, as well as races and other events happening at the Speedway in 2022. This event is sponsored by Michigan International Speedway, Spring Arbor University, True Community Credit Union, Raymond, and Granger Waste Services. Learn more and register at jacksonchamber.org.
Welcome back. Our next guest on today's morning show is the owner of Comfort Keepers, Butch Irwin. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, it's great to see you. I know it's been a busy last few months. You guys are doing some upgrades to the building. That almost done?
We were. I'm not sure it was opportune time, but throughout the pandemic, things kind of got hairy for a little while. So we decided to brighten the place up a little bit.
Nice.
And ended up being more than a painting job. It was a remodel. So it's kind of exciting now to see a different inside. So
nice.
Happy to have that behind us. So.
Yeah, someone mentioned they thought it was a brand new building that just went up, and that's how extensive the remodel has been.
Well, fortunately, we were able to purchase a building a couple years ago, and it had muddy driveways, so we're able to fix that up a little bit, and we're working on it.
Yeah.
But more importantly, we're doing great business out of there. So
that's awesome. Now talk a little bit about your business. Who do you serve?
We do non-medical in-home care for elderly and disabled mostly. So anyone with those needs that are non-medical, most folks hear about the skilled care that's out there, which includes the RNs, the physical therapists, and occupational therapists. We do the non-medical, so we're in there helping people with bathing, grooming, toileting, ambulation assistance. We can help with transportation, errands, things such as that. So really, anybody that needs help, usually we can help out from a non-medical standpoint.
Our group upstairs, we were talking about situations like this where not everyone has a family, not everyone has close friends or great neighbors, and when you're thinking about trying to do some of these daily activities and things in life, it is important to have some companionship and help.
It's ironic that you say that, because so often we go into the home and it's a result of a son or a daughter calling and saying, I think mom needs some help, that she's not taking her medication, she's not eating like she should, and we'll hook her up with a caregiver, and all of a sudden we find that mom's eating better, she's taking her medications, and truly what we're doing is providing companionship. I think that relationship that's built is something that really enlightens their life and makes them really want to do better for themselves. So companionship is probably one of our more common services, actually.
I know people that have put off joint replacement surgery because they know as part of the rehab they're going to have difficulty just tying their shoes and getting dressed and all those daily things. And are your people, is this something that you guys do? Like we'll go in temporarily for a few weeks?
Of course. That's many times one of the most important things we can do, because safety assurance is obviously one of the things that we as sons and daughters and moms and dads really are concerned about. So with our initial training, we do training with things such as a gait belt, if you've ever heard of that, slide boards for maybe paraplegics, and also there's something that's called a Hoyer lift for possible quadriplegics that aren't able to get up on their own. So we do basic training in the orientation. If we do encounter a client that needs some of those special needs, we'll have one of our client care coordinators go out and work with them in the home, make sure the family understands what we're trying to do, make sure that the client's comfortable with what we're going to help them with, how we're going to assist them. So absolutely. And I've heard that recently when you go in for a hip or a knee surgery, they're more commonly sending you home as compared to facilities. I think it depends on probably how you're functioning, but I think because of, I heard the earlier conversation about diseases, I think that's part of the factor. And plus, you're in your own environment where you're more cheerful and more probably willing to work doing some of the rehab.
Yes, hip replacement. Get up, get out. It's amazing.
Yeah, you were angry though. So you could have used some companionship.
Sounds like experience
I've
talking.
had,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
People that want, they want to stay in their home as long as possible.
Of course.
So do you have clients that your service is allowing people to stay in their home longer?
I think that's one of the more common options nowadays. Unfortunately, the pandemic kind of really shed bad light on some of the nursing homes where that, COVID's a great place for that, nursing homes a great place for that to spread. So I think that has helped us. More importantly, though, I think people just want to stay home.
Yeah.
They just don't want to go to a facility. I think there's some folks that would benefit from the facility, though. That socialization, be able to go in group activities and stuff really would benefit them, but it's hard to convince a lot of people. So, we're there to help them in the home.
Yeah. We've got a Hawaiian luau.
We do. I thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Actually, Comfort Keepers corporate office has, I believe, registered the third Wednesday of June as the National Day of Joy in the National Day of Archives, I'm understanding. So I think it's actually a registered event.
Nice.
But what they ask of us franchises is to just celebrate joy, whatever brings you joy. So we actually are going to have a party at our office in Brooklyn. We do some phenomenal chicken over a pit, which is really pretty good stuff. But we have some games and activities, and we really encourage our caregivers, if able, to bring their client in. And we just like to hear, what makes you joyful? What do you really enjoy doing? And, it helps us understand how we can better serve the client as well. So it's just one day that we really try to, celebrate just joyful things.
Are you the fire pit chef?
I'm part of it. I'm part of the crew. I wouldn't say I'm chief chef, but I'm part of the crew.
But are you looking for employees? Are you looking for people to keep other people's comfort?
I hesitate saying this, but actually right now we are quite well staffed. We have a really good group of caregivers. We actually have caregivers looking for hours. So anybody out there needing help, keep us in mind, give us a shout. We have caregivers in most areas, which is, ironic from the last 3 years. I mean, all small businesses have been struggling so much. So we're pretty fortunate right now to have some caregivers and a good group too.
Yeah, I think companionship, when I think of maybe someone who you don't want your parent or grandparent driving anymore, a couple errands, hanging out for a little bit. I do know how important that companionship is, though, and I think probably some of your clients get an awful lot out of that, don't they?
Absolutely. And I just heard the other day that there's more retired folks re-entering the workforce recently. So those are great, folks to have on board because, they can relate to some of the elderly and share stories and, for that companionship need, they can really fill in a big hole.
Does insurance or Medicaid or anything, can that be used to pay
That's
for
a
this?
great question, and we could talk about that for hours probably. Traditional Medicare does not pay for non-medical services as of yet, although some of the new Medicare Advantage programs are starting to include that as like an a la carte thing. So if you may have really high prescription costs, you might find an Advantage plan that will help with, lowering some of those costs. Also, some of the newer Advantage plans are starting to incorporate non-medical in-home care. So, you just have to look at your policy if that's something you might be interested in. When you do shop around for an Advantage plan, look for one that might have non-medical in-home care. So that's up and coming. Not a lot of the insurances are doing that yet, but some of the traditional ones like your Blue Cross Blue Shield, United Healthcare, Aetna's, I think if they don't have them already, they're looking into it. So Medicaid and the Medicare waiver program also reimburse for our kind of services. Unfortunately, we as an industry are kind of battling up in Lansing and on a federal level, trying to get those funds a little more available because, the reimbursement's low, and especially with hard times like we've had the last 3 years, it makes it hard from a business standpoint to do that. But, those folks need help just like everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely.
So our biggest referral, though, is VA. We work with the Ann Arbor VA, and we have a lot of veterans that we service.
That's great.
So if you are interested in getting some help and comfort, you can call Butch and his team at Comfort Keepers. And a great way to get acquainted with his team is to come to National Day of Joy at Comfort Keepers on Irwin Avenue. They are celebrating with finger licking pit chicken.
I'm gonna be out to this pit chicken.
I hope you do.
Sounds great.
Public is welcome.
Awesome.
Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Butch Irwin from Comfort Keepers. Stay with us. Next, we've got an update from Grow Jackson President Jacob Inocencio. Stay tuned.
Well, having found an interest in wine, I quickly discovered that there wasn't really a lot of choices for good quality wine in Jackson, so if I wanted it done right, I had to do it myself. So with that in mind, I opened Cork and Cap and chose wines specifically to be pairing wines for your meal. We have wines in every price range from $5.99 to $599 if you wanted to go that way, but you don't need to. There's great wine. Most of the wine we sell is in the $10 to $15 bottle range, and it works great with a variety of food. I guess over the years I've learned a lot about wine, and I love to share it. And could probably tell you a story about just about every bottle of wine we have here in the store. Thank you for supporting Jackson's local fine wine retailer, homebrewing, and winemaking supply store.
Mauer's Sunshine Car Wash is proud to be a professional and fast service in the Jackson area. You can relax and let our friendly staff clean your vehicle to a shine. Open Monday through Saturday, 7:30 to 6:30, Sunday 9 to 5. Or use one of our many self-serve bays, great for all vehicles, car, truck, or bikes. Try our other locations. Brooklyn Auto Wash in Brooklyn, Center Wash on Page Ave, keeping your vehicle clean for over 25 years. Mauer's Sunshine Car Wash on Ann Arbor Road.
Witness the difference at Jackson Catholic Schools with a guided informational tour for you and your child. Learn firsthand about our schools, programs, and curriculum. Enrollment for the 2022-2023 school year is now open. Find out for yourself what makes Jackson Catholic Schools special and witness the difference.
At Blair's Car Care, honesty and customer satisfaction have always been the most important thing for us. We have been serving loyal customers in Jackson County for almost 100 years. We do auto repair of all sorts, including tires, alignment, brakes, oil changes, and much more. For more information, please call 517-782-8116 or come stop by at 2424 Wildwood Avenue and experience for yourself what makes Blair's so special.
Welcome back to the morning show on JTV. Our show today is brought to you by Homesteady. They are a full-service one-stop shop for all of your home's needs. They provide warranty, seasonal maintenance, and handyman services. All of their service efforts will make your home feel cared for and take care of those projects that you've just been staring at and not doing anything about. Or if you want to get your home ready to sell, they're a great company to call. 833-496-9466, Homesteady of Jackson.
Here now is the president and founder of Grow Jackson, Jacob Inocencio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Good
Thanks
to
for
see you.
having me.
You know, I was doing a little research this morning about food insecurity in the United States, and it's staggering. The numbers:
Staggering.
38 million, 12 million of which are children. And during the pandemic, over 10% of the United States at some point felt food insecure.
Absolutely.
Huge problem.
Huge problem. And unfortunately getting worse. You know, we've had for a long time in this country poverty trending in the right direction, going down, the COVID pandemic making it go up.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, you know, I actually spoke with a group this week, and there were people who were just for the first time thinking about food insecurity. And the thing about food insecurity is that, you know, historically we've always thought about hunger as people who are hungry are those who, you know, look like they are financially struggling, or the people who appear to be homeless, when in all actuality, a lot of people who are food insecure are our neighbors. Mm-hmm. They're employed, right? Totally going against that notion that people who are poor are just lazy and don't want to work. their students. College food insecurity comes in around 30 or 40%, depending on the university or college you're at. There's students at our local public schools who eat most of their meals at school, and then that weekend is the longest time where they're going to go without the nutrition. And not only is it a lack of access to calories, it's also a lack of access to healthy and nutritious food. A lot of times we're meeting people's caloric needs, but it's too much trans fat, it's too much sodium, it's too many grams of sugar, and not enough protein, not enough vegetables, good fats, the things that we know lead to improved academic and health outcomes for so many people.
Some of the affordable things, the most affordable things at stores are garbage, essentially.
Yeah, or the things that are close to us, right? The corner store, the party store, the Dollar General certainly serve their place in the economy for a quick, I gotta pick this up. But if they're the main place you're grocery shopping, you're unable to financially, usually get to the things that you need to get out of those stores. Because if you can afford a car, you're probably gonna drive to Meijer and spend the money there. And if you have to walk to the grocery store, or you choose to walk to the grocery store, your options are just certainly much more limited at a Family Dollar or the party store.
And we used to have grocery stores on every corner.
Absolutely.
Before Meijer, there were, and I think Polly's at one time had like 10 different stores all throughout, but they were smaller, they were neighborhood, people would walk to them. Those days, obviously.
That's where you get your fresh produce and veggies. But, so you're taking this up. You're taking this up on your own. Talk a little bit about what you guys have done to kind of help combat the food insecurity.
For sure. Well, the city first is trying to bring the incentives to get a grocery store back in the community in a more walkable space. So I really want to commend them for that, because that is something that we definitely need. Right? Grow Jackson, I believe, does great work. About 6 months out of the year, we try to have fresh fruits and vegetables available to people. And we always are rescuing food from grocery stores instead of it going into the landfill, because of supply chain reasons. We rescue it and we move it to people. But I do want to commend the city, because that's a conversation that people have had through multiple mayors and multiple city councils. And everyone from grassroots organizers all the way up to state leaders recognize the need for that. So I think we're trending in the right direction there. And what we do at Grow Jackson is the work that other nonprofits have done before and are still doing. We got started specifically to be a community garden nonprofit. But one thing that I really want us to do a better job of talking about is not only are we here to promote and support our own community gardens, we're here to support the community gardens that already exist. People say to me frequently, oh, you brought community gardening to Jackson. And actually, community gardening was already here. It happens a ton on the south side, actually. Young People of Purpose, run by Diane Washington, has been doing it for a couple of decades, as has Together We Can Make a Difference with Wendy White. And they're both fantastic community leaders who already were doing gardening. We got started to expand the gardening and to support them. In a couple of years, I think Wendy has mentioned that she might not want to run a garden on her own. That would be the kind of thing where then we're running the garden and she's just able to support, because we want to be that vessel for the continuity and the support and the expansion of the gardens, so that if a church wants to start a garden or a school wants to start a garden, we can come in and say, here's what we can do to provide support, and that kind of week to week or month to month maintenance.
It's good work.
Yeah, I really believe that everybody should have a garden. During World War II, everybody had a victory garden, and almost half the food that we consumed in this country, we grew out of necessity. And certainly we've trended away from that, and I don't think we'll get back to half of our calories anytime soon. But I really believe in the magic of gardening, not only for food security, but also for community development, right? Young kids come in and they get excited about putting a seed in the ground, and a couple of days later, seeing a plant grow, learning about pollination. We had a great moment at the King Center last summer where we're speaking about pollination with a group, and a kid walks up to a cucumber and said, oh, look, the bee's doing that thing you were just talking about, right? It's so much more impactful to talk about soil health, to talk about photosynthesis, to talk about water needs, to talk about nutrition, right? There's different avenues that we can speak about educational concepts in the garden, but when you're right there hands-on, as we know. So we really believe in it, not only for the health benefits, not only for the food security, but just as a community resource. People love to come in and they talk about, oh, when I was younger, 60 years ago, I was helping my grandpa in the garden, or reclaiming the concept of agriculture. Unfortunately, in minority communities, agriculture does not always come, rarely comes with a positive association. Obviously, the genocide and Holocaust of slavery and agriculture and that concept with the black community. And then the Bracero program and the migrant farming programs to this day are not always humane for our migrant workers and the Hispanic community. And black and brown and BIPOC people have always been stewards of the land. And for people to be able to come to the garden and have positive association with the stewardship of the soil, the stewardship of the environment is really powerful, I think, for community wellness and community healing.
Your garden at the King Center got started last week, right?
We started planting last week. We had a volunteer event, and then I've been out there with Rise Above students. We're really excited about that because Rise Above's doing a garden where I work in partnership with Vista Grand Villa. And so those students have been helping in the Grow Jackson Gardens and also the Rise Above Garden.
How have your gardening skills improved over the last few years?
They're always improving.
Yeah.
My background is in botany and forestry, so gardening for me is definitely something that's new. I've worked on farms, I've gardened, but I'm nowhere near a master gardener. So I mentioned Diane and Wendy. They're great gardeners. I learn from them frequently.
Yeah.
And I get advice from all kinds of people, and that's the beauty of the community. People come in and they say, well, you know, if you harvested your collards after it frosted, they would taste better. Or if you tried this, or if you looked at this. Or people really love having the opportunity to come share knowledge. And that's what I think it's all about.
Yeah.
People say, oh, you know so much about gardening. And really, I believe in it, but I'm always learning.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to share with everyone else is we're learning together. Come share your skills and let's share what we know and lift the whole community up in the process.
Yeah, there's a lot of homeowners that have their own gardens. Share your talents with Grow Jackson if you'd like to get involved.
Absolutely. We're always looking for volunteers. Whether or not you have gardening expertise, you can sign up to volunteer at growjackson.org and bring your knowledge or come learn. We have a lot of people say, oh, you know, my 5 or 6-year-old wants a garden, but I don't want to take that on. Bring them to the garden every week. We'd love to be their garden and have them learn and have them have their own plants and things like that. That's what it's there for.
It's cool.
If deer didn't like gardens so much, it'd be a lot easier.
That
is true.
That is true. We try to say we grow enough for the community and for the deer.
Yeah.
And being, you know, a relatively short growing season in this northern climate, does it make it harder to I guess, further your mission? You mentioned to do the 6 months out of the year.
Yeah.
There's 6 more months.
We would like to, in subsequent years, add hoop houses, working on a project to get a greenhouse for year round. And that would allow us to do seedlings and starts for the whole community. We'd also be able to do conversations around growing in, you know, we're in zone 6 here, doing year-round growing with solar tech and solar panels and things of that nature. Lots of different conversations can be had. It's just a matter of our size and our capacity. We never want to grow too fast, bite off more than we can chew, and then come up short. So in subsequent years, we'd love to have hoop houses. We'd love to have more going on so that we can start growing earlier, grow later, and eventually I would like us to be growing greens year-round.
Awesome. Where can people find the garden right now?
Absolutely. So growjackson.org has all of our information. Follow Grow Jackson on Facebook and Instagram. That's where you're going to see all of our upcoming gardening events and everything you need to know about getting involved, donating, volunteering, and then accessing the fresh food when it's available.
Awesome. Jacob, thanks for being with us this morning.
Thanks you so much for having me.
Jacob Innocencio, president of Grow Jackson. We'll be right back after this break.
Registration is now open for Jackson YMCA Summer Day Camp. The camp is about learning skills, developing character, and making friends. Every new experience at day camp is a chance for kids to stay active, address gaps in learning when school's not in session, and have fun. Open to ages 4 to 14. Sign up for just 1 week or all 10 at jacksonymca.org.
At Consumers Energy, we believe change is empowering, powering both your home and your business. Change is progress, with a modernized grid that can detect outages and restore power within seconds. Change is reliable. We're talking preventing over 35,000 outages last year reliable. And change is enduring, like our dedication to keep your power running, just as it should. Consumers Energy, a force for you, a force of change.
Registration now open for summer semester at Jackson College. Jackson College offers programs and classes designed to fit many preferences and schedules, with personnel who are committed to student success. Students may choose from in-person or online options, with sessions lasting the full 12 weeks, as well as 7-week and 5-week sessions. Summer semester begins May 9th. New students should contact the admissions office prior to registering for classes. Current students may meet with a Student Success Navigator to discuss their schedule by contacting Student Services. For information about registering, visit the website jccmi.edu.
The days are getting warmer. That means it's a great time to get outside and get active.
Did you know exercising outdoors increases vitamin D production, which helps improve our mood and boosts our immune systems and more?
Whether it's a stroll in the park, a round on the golf course, or an hour in the garden, getting active does your body a lot of good. Be sure to enjoy these beautiful days. Go out and get active today.
The Center for Family Health has been opening the door to healthcare for all in Jackson County for more than 30 years.
The PIC Center is an independent practice that has provided care to the Jackson area for over 25 years. Doctors O'Neill and Cack supervise antibiotic infusions, as well as those for many other conditions, such as inflammatory bowel, joint, and lung disease, anemia, and multiple sclerosis. Our modern facility is open 7 days a week, and the infusion staff will make you feel right at home. Let your doctor know you have a choice where you receive your next infusion. Remember, when you've picked us, you've picked the best.
Welcome back to the morning show, and happy Mother's Day to all moms in the audience. My mom, your mom.
My mom, my grandmothers.
Your mom,
my wife.
grandmothers. Yeah.
My mother-in-law. Oh
Dr.
my God,
Cack,
am I forgetting anyone?
All the moms.
All the moms.
Dr. Cack said something off the air that I think is true. It's like, wow, Mother's Day it's like faster this year, and I think it's because we've had this cold weather.
Yeah, and Easter was late this year, so hopefully all the mothers are taken care of this weekend.
There's a kind of a bad mom in Genesee County we want to tell you about.
Hey, I know her.
Yeah, she's arraigned on charges of second-degree child abuse yesterday after marijuana gummies her child brought to school sickened pupils. This is Melinda Gattaca of Mount Morris. She left out her gummies. She actually, she made her own gummies. She injected them with THC, and then she put them in a Lifesavers container.
They're like $2. Why is she making her own?
I don't know. She's just an idiot mom. So the 6-year-old took him to school and passed him out.
That's unbelievable. And this is like the second story that we've heard of this happening. And a lot of times, the packaging looks similar to other candies. So moms, you need to be careful out there with your vices.
Yeah. So Museum Day, we've got a lot going on this weekend. So I hope to take advantage of the beautiful weather and all the great activities.
Yeah, have a great weekend, and stay with us for Bart's show later this afternoon. He'll have Jerry Jarzinka, Jackson County prosecutor, Linda Brush, and Rob Lazinski, Jenna Shimolewski with Right Size Your Life, Jeremy Patterson, a.k.a. Big Shoulders from middle school at Parkside. He'll be with Jennifer Coppin. And Steve Tucker from the Michigan Theater. That's all for this morning. We'll see you this afternoon.
Delicious food and great friends. That's what you get when you visit the Manchester Market, located on West Main Street in Manchester.